If you're choosing your direct drive wheelbase based purely on who has the higher torque number on the box, then you are about to make a very expensive rookie mistake. Technically, the Moza R9 wins that paper war. It has the 9 Newton meters of peak torque versus the Fanatec CSL DD's 8. It looks more modern and it feels more expensive. But after treating my sim rig like a laboratory for the last 7 days, running these two bases through a gauntlet of iRacing, ACC, and Assetto Corsa, guys, I realized that better specs does not mean better racing. One of these bases feels like a piece of precision industrial equipment, and the other feels kinda like an interpreter that actually speaks the language of the simulator. Now guys, before I tell you why I'm keeping the weaker base, check out the links in the description, okay? I've dropped the current best bundles for both ecosystems down there, and guys, I am always updating them so you guys know that you'll get the best possible deals. So you can just compare the real world pricing while we talk. Now guys, go and check it out. These are affiliate links, so it does kind of mean that if you do decide to buy, then I do get a small commission that keeps these reviews coming your way. Okay guys, go and check it out. I guarantee you are going to love it, and let's give credit where it's due. So if we were judging this purely on object lust and build quality, then Moza wins. The R9 is dense. It's a cold slab of aviation grade aluminum. It feels impossibly small and heavy for its size. It has that premium density that makes you feel good about spending that kind of money. The quick release specifically is a masterpiece. It snaps on with a mechanical clunk that feels automotive, not like a toy. And because the base is so physically compact, if you're tight on space, it solves a huge problem. I was able to drop my main monitor by about 2 inches lower with the R9 compared to the Fanatec, which drastically improved my field of view. When you unbox the CSL DD, it just feels different. It's engineered, sure, but it feels like a consumer electronics product. It feels like part of a system. It doesn't have that same raw industrial cool factor that Moza has, but here's the problem, okay? You don't lay the wheelbase on your desk to look at it. You buy it to drive. And this is where the conversation completely flips. I call this the tuner versus driver dilemma. So when I boot up Moza's Pit House software, then it's pretty clean. It works. But in almost every sim I tested, particularly the ACC, I felt like I had to meet the wheelbase halfway. I had to tweak the inertia, mess with the friction, and adjust the game's gain just to find that sweet spot. When you get it right, the Moza is incredible. It's smooth, it's heavy, and it's silent. But if you switch games, you're often back to the tinkering phase. Fanatec is the complete opposite. So it is the Apple approach. Because Fanatec has dominated the market for so long, the developers of iRacing and Kunos, the guys making ACC, have largely tuned their physics engines with Fanatec hardware in mind. You feel this immediately in the force feedback details. In iRacing, the CSL DD isn't just heavy, it's articulate. There is a specific texture to the road surface and the tire scrub that comes through the Fanatec rim that feels like high definition audio. The Moza, by comparison, sometimes feels like it's shouting. It gives you weight and it gives you the strength, but it muddies the subtle details of understeer. Now, the place where this was most obvious was in the Porsche GT3 R 2016 at Spa. Going through Eau Rouge, the Moza, it felt planted and it felt strong. I felt the G-force, but on the CSL DD, I felt the exact millisecond the front tires started to scrub across the tarmac. That tiny detail is the difference between catching a slide and spinning out. The CSL DD gave me that exact information automatically. The Moza, on the other hand, it made me hunt for it in the settings. And then, guys, we have to talk about the walled garden, okay? This is the factor that usually kills the debate for about 50% of you watching this. So the Moza R9 is a PC peripheral. So yes, there are adapters. Yes, there are workarounds. pounds, but natively, this is for PC sim racers. So if you want to race on Xbox or PlayStation today, or you think that you might want to in about 2 years, then the Fanatec ecosystem is the only one of these two that offers native plug-and-play console support, provided that you buy the right sim or the specific PlayStation compatible base. And Fanatec, guys, is selling you a platform that you buy the base, and you have access to dozens of wheels, pedals, and shifters that all talk to each other seamlessly. Moza is catching up fast, and their ecosystem is growing, but it still feels like a collection of great separate parts rather than a unified organism. So here is the harsh truth. If you're a PC-only racer and you see yourself as a tuner, someone who loves adjusting, damping curves, and optimizing settings to get the perfect feel, then buy the Moza R9. The hardware is superior, the torque is higher, and the build quality is fantastic. It is a stunning piece of kit, but if you are a driver and you want to sit down, double-click the iRacing icon, and trust that the information coming through your hands is accurate without spending 20 minutes in the settings menu, then what you need to do is you need to buy the Fanatec CSL DD. I found that despite the lower torque number and the older design, the Fanatec simply got out of my way and just let me race. And in sim racing, confidence is worth way more than Newton meters. So the links for both of these guys are down in the description below. Check out the bundles, guys, because Fanatec changes their pricing aggressively. And I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you on the track.